Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie and today I will be sharing what the Big Law interview process was like for an entry-level legal assistant position. Whoa, that was a lot. If it's your first time interviewing at big law firms, I know how intimidating it can be when you don't know what to expect nor what the process is like. And I know when I was doing my research, there wasn't much out there, which is why I am making this video for you all. So make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Also feel free to post a question or comment down below or post a question in the discussion tab. Alrighty, so let's jump right into it. What was the Big Law interview process like? So I found my position through either Indeed or LinkedIn. I cannot remember because I applied first of all to various law firms. Once I applied, I got a call back from the firm that I currently work for, and they have different departments in Big Law, and their talent recruitment department had emailed me and they scheduled me for an interview they gave me the date and time. After they scheduled me, I was like, okay, cool, like I already know the date, like I'm just going to take this time to prepare. But the next day, they sent me a follow-up email with an interview schedule. And for me, it was kind of shocking because I've never received an interview schedule before. And I was like, ooh, like they are a big deal. So I got very anxious because I don't know, this was my first time like interviewing with multiple people. So in the interview scheduled, I was scheduled to interview with 3 individuals, the supervisor, 2 directors, and that's it. I was supposed to interview with each person for 30 minutes long. And they also in that same email, they also told me to to send them my unofficial transcripts and a short writing sample. Prior to the interview, I tried to research questions that they could potentially ask me, and also keep in mind that I had interviewed at different law firms prior to this one, so I had interviewed at boutique law firms, mid-size, and other big law firms. So I kind of had an idea what they would ask me, so I had prepared for that. And I made sure to dress nice, to bring my notebook and pen. I also brought extra copies of my resume, my unofficial transcripts, and 1 copy of my short writing sample. So on the day of the interview, I go and I'm waiting in the lobby. Well, right when I walk in, first of all, the firm looked good. I just felt official walking in. So I'm in the lobby and I am waiting, and I think I waited for about like 10 minutes, maybe 15, maybe less, I don't remember. But the supervisor, she comes in and she grabs me and she takes me to this conference room. Right off the bat, like the supervisor was very nice, professional. She had a big smile on her face, and I was just happy to be there. Like, I don't know, she made me feel very comfortable. And okay, so when we walk into the conference room, I see like a big giant screen at the end of the conference room. And I forgot to mention, but in the interview schedule, I did notice that the 2 directors, they were from the East Coast, which is part of the reason why I also got anxious because I had never interviewed with people out of state. I mean, you guys might have or are going to. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, but I got anxious. Like I was just like, "Oh my gosh." Like I didn't know what to expect. So when I walk into the conference room, there's a big screen at the end of the conference room, and I obviously figured that okay, like I'm probably going to interview with them in this big giant screen TV. And so I was kind of excited. I was like, this is really cool. I've never done this before. Even if I don't get the job, like this is such a cool experience. I obviously interviewed with the supervisor first. She was very nice. Like I mentioned before, she made me feel comfortable. She didn't ask me anything out of the ordinary. The questions that I can remember she asked me were like, are you planning on going to law school? When do you plan on going to law school? How long do you want to work with us? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Can you tell me about a time where you were under time pressure and you encountered a problem and how did you solve it? So she gave me like some scenarios. But I mean, it was like pretty straightforward. There was like nothing out of the ordinary. I know with some law firms, like, I don't know, they've thrown curveballs at me before and I was just like, whoa, I did not see that coming. But for this, like, They were very professional. I was not tested for anything. Also, like I know for some law firms, like they try to test you on like Microsoft, Excel, or whatever, which I think is really dumb because first of all, like you get training anyway. And I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of a waste of time, but that's a different story. After I interviewed with the supervisor, she left the room and the IT people, they came into the conference room and they set up the TV and all that. And once the TV was set up, one of the directors popped up and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. Okay, I react to everything. So I couldn't help myself. I reacted, I was like, oh my gosh, like hello. She was very nice, this director, and she was just very like, oh, hello. Like she was very welcoming. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, how are you? This is so cool. You're all the way in the East Coast, and I'm over here. And I don't know. It was a cool experience. And when the interview began, I guess, like, we started off with the weather. I don't even know if it was an interview, like, in the beginning. Like, we were literally just talking about the weather because I had gone to the East Coast before. I remember how cold it was. And I had asked her about that, and we just talked about the weather. Very professional of me. And then with her, I don't remember her asking me to like many questions, but she did explain to me what the job consisted of. So she asked me if I was comfortable enough for it because the case that I was supposed to work on, or I did work on, it was very sensitive, I guess, and I think she also asked me like what I was expecting of this job, would I be comfortable with the case, and yeah, I think I don't remember. I'm so sorry, guys, but I remember it being good. Like there wasn't anything out of the ordinary, like no curveballs, and I don't know. It's just they made me feel comfortable. And with this second director, she also asked me why I wanted to go to law school, what I was planning, like when do I plan on going to law school, and so forth. And I think like what really resonated or stood out about me was like my story as to why I wanted to go to law school. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to share it here, but if you want to hear more about it, please like and subscribe or comment down below, and I would be more than happy to share my story, but not for this video. At this point, it had been like an hour and a half, and the supervisor tells me that I'm going to interview with one of the partners. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was surprised because, first of all, the partner wasn't scheduled, she wasn't in my interview schedule. And so I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was a little nervous because I'm all like, okay, partners are like the real deal. They could, okay, so obviously different attorneys have different personalities, but I was so scared. I was like, I didn't know who the partner was, I didn't know their name, and so I didn't do any research on them. So I was like, oh my gosh, like who is this partner? Like, are they going to be strict? Are they going to look at me like, nah, like you're all right? I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. So I was very nervous. But right when this attorney came in, like this attorney was also bubbly. This attorney was very outgoing, and they're just very nice, outgoing, and they just made me feel very comfortable. When my interview began with this attorney asked me like what school I went to, if I wanted to go to law school, and I had told her that I graduated from UCLA and that I plan on going to law school here in Southern California. And this attorney was just very stoked because this person had also gone to UCLA as an undergrad and for law school. This attorney talked about what it was like attending law school as a minority and then entering big law and eventually making partner. And I thought it was just very fascinating. Honestly, like in my mind, like at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, like this attorney is goals. Like I want to be like this person once I go to law school and become an attorney. And if I like big law, then definitely, you know, like follow this person's path, like what this person did. And I don't know, throughout the interview, I guess, it was just very cool. We talked about our personal lives, and I don't know, like literally at that moment and throughout the interview, I was like, man, if whatever, if for some reason I don't get this job, I'm going to cry. But I mean, it was a great experience overall, and it's like, wow, like my perception of like big law just completely changed. Well, first of all, I didn't even know. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't know what big law was. Like I had heard of it. I thought it was just like a bunch of like just like strictly corporate law, but there's so much more to it. And I didn't know like the people in Big Law were going to be very nice like that. And I don't know, I just like the structure, I like the firm, I like the people, the attorneys. Well, this attorney was very great, but I was just very like impressed with everything. So at this point, it had been 2 hours interviewing at this firm, and I was like, okay, so my interview with the partner ended, and I went home. I was exhausted because I did a lot of talking. It was a lot, you know, like the anxiety, the adrenaline, the talking. Everything was just very exhausting, so I took a nap. And my dum dum forgot to ask when I was going to hear back from them. Honestly, I was expecting to hear back at least like within a week, whether I got accepted or not. And then the next day, I had another interview for another big law firm. And okay, so this was like probably on a Thursday when I interviewed with the firm, and then Friday comes and I wake up, I get ready because I have another big law firm interview. And so I'm getting ready, I'm doing my makeup, and then all of a sudden I get a call from like someone from the East Coast, and I was like, could that be them? So I answer, and yeah, it was the firm. They gave me an offer, and I was just so stoked because I was like, oh my gosh. And I accepted the job on the spot. I recommend not doing that because I know, like, for some people, that could be, I don't know. Like, I remember when I accepted my first offer at a law firm, I don't know, like, I didn't consider the benefits, I didn't consider the work environment, which these are very important factors. But for this one, I made an exception because I got a great vibe from everyone. I liked the firm, I had done my research, and I just, like, my gut was telling me, like, this is a good opportunity to take. So after I accepted the offer, they sent me a bunch of paperwork. They made me do like a background check, and I didn't start working for them until about 2 weeks after the interview. So that was the interview process. That was the interview day. I know for some big law firms, they do 1 day interviews and sometimes they do 2 day interviews. It really depends on the firm, but I feel like the big law firms that I went to, like this was kind of like the same process where they sent me an interview schedule and they gave me the names of the people and how long I was supposed to interview with each. I hope you guys found this beneficial. If there is any topic that you want me to cover, please let me know down in the comments below or in the discussion tab. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want more content like this, or if you have any other questions or you want me to cover something in more depth. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye. Best of luck with your interviews.